We're going to start this morning with our Fundamentals of Success Part 4. So a quick recap, as you see there, time. We've talked about a few things, and my belief is the way we utilize what all of us have actually makes the biggest difference in our life, not the things that we don't have, that we wish we did. We can look at other people who seem to have more time, seem to have more energy, seem to have more money, and say, oh, if I had that, then I would be at a different place. But I believe that it's what we have and the way we use it that makes the biggest difference. And that's why we've been talking about this. So today, we're going to talk about money, but a quick recap. The way we use our time, consistency is key. Always show up. Do your part. Even if it's a 5-minute workout, don't stop working out if you're trying to work out. Time grows all things we do repeatedly. Remember my illustration that showed this exact same things, just done the good things done more than the other things that maybe don't add value to your life, and that takes you a certain direction. So time grows all things we do repeatedly. Our choices with time determine our destination in life. So we get to choose where we spend our time, and I believe time is one of the most valuable resources that any person has. Remember, in 15 years I'm going to be 50. 15 years more, just like I was married for 15 years, I'm going to be 50. It's insane. So time is very valuable. Energy, focus your energy for results. If you're not having the results you want in a certain area, focus your energy and you'll see results show up. I was out at a job last week and I was using a jackhammer to go through some asphalt. And when I focused all that energy into one point, I would go through the asphalt. But if I had put a flat tamper on that thing, I would not have gone through the asphalt. Focused energy makes things happen. So focus your energy for good results. Invest in good habits for maximum energy that you settle into. You don't even think about them anymore. When you're at that point, you're not using energy to create energy. Then restore energy with self-care by using your free time wisely. We all have a certain amount of free time. And if we use that time wisely, we can have energy for the time that's not free. The time that we got to show up at work, the time we got to show up and be present with our family and with our friends, and whatever it is that we're invested in that's not free time, if we invest our free time carefully, we'll have energy. So that's kind of the recap. And this morning we're going to talk about money, because that is one of our resources, and it's one of those that a lot of people are obsessed with. Both people who don't have it think about it all the time, and people who have lots of it think about it all the time. You can be on either ditch on the spectrum of having lots or none and think about it all the time. So just because you're not wealthy does not mean you're not obsessed about money. Money is one of those tools that I think makes a huge difference in our life if it's treated correctly. So money is a tool that if treated carelessly will not work for you. Think about like a DeWalt drill. If you have a DeWalt drill, and we all have a DeWalt drill, and I treat mine carelessly, I leave it out in the weather when it's raining, I use it as a hammer to hammer in nails, I treat it carelessly. And then when I want to use it for an actual drill, nobody here does that, by the way. Never use your drill as a hammer. Very important. Who's coughing over here? Oh boy. Never use your drill as a hammer. But if you use it carelessly and then you want it to work for you and it's not working, whose fault is that? Definitely not mine if you're using it carelessly. So if you're going to treat money carelessly, it won't work for you, just like that drill will not work for you. Someday, after leaving that drill out in the rain, after using it like a hammer, you're going to pick it up and it will not work for you because you treated it carelessly. Money is the same way. If you treat money carelessly, it is not going to work for you. And you're going to be looking at other people who have a nice drill and wondering why you don't have a nice drill. Well, you didn't treat it with the same amount of care as they did. So that's kind of the premise. We got to treat money with care. So the first thing is work hard. There are no shortcuts to have wealth. We must first earn it. Have you ever wished for a rich uncle? Come on. A rich uncle who likes you more than anybody else and wants to give you everything he's got? That rich uncle thing, if you start thinking about it, really doesn't play out very well because if your rich uncle has children and he likes you more than his children and he gives you the money instead, that's not going to work very well. But I have often wished that somebody could just come in and help me and just take care of all my money problems. But I want to tell you something. The hard work you put in to get to a certain place prepares you for when you arrive at that place. You know what I'm saying? So if you work hard to get somewhere, that is preparation, so when you are there, you can handle that. I have seen people who have gotten lots of money in a short amount of time that they did not work hard for, and they do not know how to handle it. If you look at the statistics of people who win the lottery, in several years, they're just as poor as before they won the lottery, if not worse off. You know why? They did not work hard, they did not earn it, they do not know how to take care of it. So the rich uncle, the lottery, you name it, that is not a way to prepare yourself to handle what it is that great wealth might be for you. So work hard. There are no shortcuts. Stop waiting for that rich uncle or that lottery to be won. Then the second thing is save big. Cut out everything, and I mean everything, that is not important. You've heard me talk about this if you've been here before when I've talked about money, but I'm going to say it again. Sarah and I, when we first started out in marriage, we cut out every single thing. Every single thing. Our grocery budget was $100 a month. Our dating budget was $10 per month. And we figured out how to have fun. We got creative. We did things that were free. We still do things that are free. You start developing those lifestyle habits, you learn how to have fun without needing to spend lots of money. So cut out everything you can. To this day, if I need something and I go to the Amazon app, you can buy that thing and you can see it a day or two later. Maybe with Corona, it's not quite there right now, but you can have something almost instantaneously. And to this day, when I'm thinking about something that is more of a want and not quite a real big need, I will delay that purchase as long as I can to make sure I actually want that thing. That's one way to save. Push out what you think you need or you want, push it out a little farther, and just wait. Amanda had some great words of advice when we talked about this last time. If you show up somewhere and you see something that you didn't know you needed before you saw it, don't buy it. Amanda's very wise. So if you show up at a store and you didn't know you needed it before you saw it, do not purchase it. Walk away. Maybe next time you come back, if you still need it, then you can get it. So delay everything you can. I'm a huge fan of this. I will drive my car tires till they're basically bald. Because if I can get 10% more out of my car tires, I just saved 10%. So yes, I don't want to have an accident, so there's a line there. Because then I'm going to start hydroplaning, and to save 10% of my car tires, I ruined my car. So there's a balance. But if you can save any place you can, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. So if you have that philosophy, that mentality, you're looking everywhere you can to save. We save all our leftovers. We do everything we can to just save. We still do that. And I wouldn't have to because I've been doing this for a long time. Save. Then invest now. Time is important. So invest now. Make your hard-earned money get to work today. Actually, yesterday. But today. Start now. Because time is huge. Time is huge. Most of us are young. Not all of us. We've been talking some about this over the last couple weeks. But if you can put time on your side, it takes much less money to have much more money if you have time on your side. Time does amazing things. Just like when you continue, time grows all things, like we were talking about earlier when we were talking about time with our habits and our energy and all these things that we invest time into. Time invested in money does amazing things just as well. So you guys have heard about this, but when Sarah and I got married, we took our hard-earned money that we had saved up to that point, put it towards a rental property. We didn't buy nice sofas. We didn't buy a nice bedroom suite. We didn't buy a nice car. We didn't go out and buy nice things that would depreciate. A lot of people who spend their money on depreciating assets instead of spending their money on assets that appreciate, have hard times in the future. So we took that money that we had, put it into a rental property, and to this day we still don't have a bedroom suite. Someday I'm going to, but we still have not put that much value on having a nice bedroom suite because that thing's not going to make money. You know, there's a balance there, I know that. But we put that money into an investment property, and over the course of that investment property, we made over $100,000 on that investment property. Over $100,000. If we had put that money into those other things that we could have bought, they might be worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 today. And I'm not saying that for a big success story. I'm just saying time. We did that for about 12 or 13 years on that property, 12 years. And that's how much money we made versus money we would have lost. So that's why investing is so, so important. If you work hard and you save big, invest it so it can do that for you. Then you'll have the money for the things that are important to you. You can give. You can live without worry. If your car breaks down, that you can fix it. You can provide for your family in ways that are much less stressful. So that's why I'm saying that. I'm not trying to lift myself up and say I've got it all together, but I just want that example there for you all to see. If you work hard, you save big, the reward is that you get to see that money make money. Okay, the difference maker is in our priorities. I really think this here is key, and I want you to get this little, comparison of our priorities. So income, you get your income, and then if your first priority is that, you know what, I want to invest money. I want to make sure I'm always investing money. And then I have my expenses. Then if I have anything left over, I'll get a few things that I want. You'll be successful. If you reverse that and you have your income and you start with your wants, I'd love to get some new shoes. So I buy new shoes. Oh, you know what? I got some expenses. The electric bill's higher this month than I thought it was going to be. I got to pay my expenses. And then you take the leftover and you invest that. You're going to have difficulty in your life. I guarantee you. You can never earn enough if you get your priorities mixed up. But if you get your priorities right, it almost does not matter how much you're earning. You're going to figure out a way to invest. You're not going to have as many wants in your life, but you're going to figure out a way to invest. So if I were you, and if I were me, I would do this with my priorities. Income, then investing, figure out some way to invest. Remember I said consistency is key? It's the same for investing. Even if you can only invest $5 a week, invest $5 a week. Always invest if you can. If you want to experience financial success. I want you to know I've been doing this for 15 some plus years, and I'm still investing just as much as I was when I started. I'm not giving up. You just keep at it. You just keep going. So remember, get the priorities right, because if whatever you have in the highest priority, you will make it happen. If I want new shoes, eventually I'll figure out a way to get new shoes. If I want to invest, eventually I will figure out a way to invest. Did you ever hear that you cannot have your cake and eat it too? They're lying to you. Whoever said that, they are lying to you. You can have your cake and eat it too, if you do it in the right order. They're lying to you unless you don't do it in the right order, then they're right. You can't have your cake and eat it too. But if you do it in the right order, you can have your cake and eat it too. And that's because you got to build a bakery. So if you think of two people, one person wants his cake, and so does the other person, but the one person wants it now. So he goes out, he saves up enough of money, and he goes out and he buys a cake. Well, once he has one cake, if he eats it, he has no more cake, right? Can't have your cake and eat it too. But the other person wants his cake, and he says, you know what? I'm going to make a cake factory so I can have my cake and eat it too. So he saves up a little money, and he buys whatever he needs to start, mixing up the cake. Then he gets an oven. Eventually, he builds himself, over many years, he builds himself a cake factory. And this thing has a robot with a computer. It gets the flour, it gets the sugar, it gets everything you need, the eggs, the milk. There's got to be something else in there, but I'm getting most of the ingredients there. And it mixes up this cake, and it bakes it, and as it comes out, he gets his cake, and while he's eating that cake, guess what? Another cake is being made at the exact same time, and about the time he finishes up with that cake, here comes another cake. And he's got, all my favorite cake. It's often chocolate with peanut butter icing, my favorite cake. So if you want your cake and you want to eat it too, you have to build a cake factory, which means your money must be working for you. If you're going to spend your money as you earn it, you're not going to have your cake and eat it too. Think of money as cake. As you earn it, you get this little bit of cake. Are you going to eat it right away, or are you going to invest it into a cake factory where it's going to make cake for you? When money works for you, it's making money on itself. You don't even have to do anything. It's making itself money. It's making you money. When it's invested, it is just cranking out little cakes. And they start off pretty small. I'll admit, the first couple cakes out of a cake factory are not very large, but the longer that cake factory is in operation, and if you're smart, you don't eat all the cake that comes off there. You just put it back in and build a bigger cake factory. So in the end, you have more money to give to all the things that are important. Because money is a tool. What I don't want to see anybody do here, and I talked about this the last time I talked about money, is that if we chase a goal that is not worth chasing, when we get there, we're going to be disappointed. So I want to say this about money. Money is a tool, and I'm talking about it as a tool. If you go after money just for the sake of being rich, you will be disappointed. I guarantee you, you will be disappointed. You see many rich people who are depressed and they think life is not worth living, but they have all the money in the world. Do not chase money for money's sake. Money is a tool to invest in the people and the lives around us. Yes, love others as you love yourself, so it's also there for you, but it's there for others primarily. It's there as a tool to invest in people around you, to build God's kingdom, whatever that God has given you to invest in, that's what it's there for. It is not there just to be enjoyed for yourself. So I want to say that. When I talk about money, it is, when you have money, you can invest in the things that you care about, but make sure it's in things that are good. So I just got to say that very, very clearly. But if you build a cake factory, you can be giving, if one of the things is giving to other people, you can give that much more 15 years from now. Like when I started back when I was 20, I didn't have a whole lot to give. But I have way more to give right now than I did back then, because this cake factory is starting to work. The cakes are getting a little larger. And instead of eating all the cake myself, I share my cake with other people. So make sure you're going after a good goal. Save and invest like no one else, so you can live like no one else. If you want to be able to live like no one else, you have to save and invest like no one else. And if you see somebody right now, if you know of somebody who's being very careful with how they spend their money, they're not doing everything that everybody else does, I guarantee you, if you watch their life in a couple of years, 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to be living like no one else, because they were saving like nobody else. They were investing like no one else. There is no way around it. Unless you have that rich uncle who likes you way better than all his kids, and his kids will hate you. Warren Buffett is probably one of the most successful investors of all time. And he says most people don't have the patience it takes to be wealthy. And I'll tell you why. We want what we want right now. But if we can put off our wants till later, we can have what we want. Like I said, we can have our cake and eat it too. Very, very important. Abraham Lincoln once said, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. I feel like that's pretty true. Short-term gratification of what I want now and what I want most. Sarah and I talk about this. What are we going to wish we had done? Let's do that. It can be as much as like we're sitting at home and it's hot outside in the summertime. It's 85 degrees at 6 o'clock. And it's like, shall we go for a walk? Well, what are we going to wish we had done? Let's go for a walk instead of staying inside and sitting on the couch. It's that kind of thing. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. So if you want to have cake and you want to eat it too, choose the long term. Push off. Remember, work hard, save big, invest now, get your priorities right, build a cake factory, and then use your money as a tool to invest in people. And you'll be so grateful you did. Invest in the ones that you love.